Welcome back to the only place on YouTube. Today, we're looking at 8 more liminal space photos sent in by you. Possibly. If that is the case, feel free to make yourself known in the comments so we can all say hello. In this episode, we're switching things up once again in order of looking at the photos. So the first half will be following the May 2021 timeline, like some of the other previous episodes, while the rest will be more recent images, to make it fair for people that are newer to the channel who might have sent in photos. Sound good? Then let's get right into it, starting off with this image here from Manila. So this image is taken from some type of Garry's Mod map, Garry's Mod being the super popular Steam game released in 2006. The game is still rather active, with a massive online community, as many sandbox games are. Gmod is also quite popular in liminal space circles. I've made many videos on Gmod and its liminality. Manila's image here serves as a great example. Of course, not all Gmod scenarios look like this, but here we're presented with this awkward lighting in which the objects present in the photo don't appear to have shadows. This creates this uncanny effect, something we'll continue to see as we further examine the image, realizing that the back walls here all have these flat textures applied to them. All around, it appears unnatural, despite its mundanity. Here we have an image made and submitted by none other than LudoCrypt, which is a rather old photo compared to what they can make now. I like it because it has like a retro charm to it, especially seen in the harsh lighting, which contrasts the long dark tunnel and mysterious hallway to the right of the image, which also makes for an interesting narrative. Clearly the image takes inspiration from the back rooms, with the yellow floors and walls and cheap looking wallpaper pattern. And despite the variety in textures, it all blends together, making this uncomfortable sense of danger. These feelings are only carried over into the next image, also made by Ludo. However, the subject matter is entirely different this time, with the principle of scale being messed with, as we see these 3 rows of bookshelves, each containing various sizes. The row on the left has these bookshelves at a regular size. Next to it is the middle row, which together look normal until you pair them with the unnaturally large shelves to the right, altogether making the image. It's the awkward repetition and the way the photo is framed that makes it, as mentioned, unnatural and uncomfortable. Moving away from the virtual world, but still dealing with themes of artificiality, we see a warped edited image submitted from Paz. Here, the colors are noticeably saturated and there's a slight distortion effect applied. Now, funny enough, I actually remember looking at this image from way back when I used to stream liminal image analysis live, and I remember somebody mentioning that the image gives this effect to them of derealization, which I can totally see. Just the way the image is slightly edited as it literally bends reality. It makes for an interesting effect that pairs well with the image overall. I would say this is due to the image having such a straight linear perspective, showing how sometimes less is more. So now we enter our series of images that are from more recent times. We have a collection of 4 photos all submitted from J-Wash. So these photos are all from his local dead mall, known as Columbia Mall in Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania. In the first image, we see an average mallscape completely empty and with no identifiable stores. So this is a really dead mall. Something about the architecture, or maybe it's the lighting, but it makes for a really good transitional photo. In fact, the vacancy almost makes it seem like it isn't a mall at all. The second photo switches things up, most noticeably going from a vertical photo to a horizontal one. The framing is excellent here. These green chairs form these 2 rows which leads your eye up into this bright hanging American flag. However, there's also this gray trash can right in the middle of the image, which is the only visible gray object in the photo, making it stand out, while also being incognito. There's a bunch of closed down stores and shops in the background, and these big pillars help to give a sense of space for the area overall. Here, J-Wash shows us the inside of a closed down store, which appears to be in great disrepair. There's a bunch of missing ceiling tiles, and some of them are even stained brown. There's these little paint pieces or drywall scattered all across the floor and along the walls. Obviously, there's just a lack of cleanliness. The poor lighting isn't making the space look any better, but obviously it makes for a great liminal space photo, especially the lack of furniture and general emptiness. There appears to be some type of changing room on the left side, near some nicely placed hanging wires. So maybe this was some type of clothing store before it, as well as most of the mall, went out of business. Lastly, we end on another vertical image, this one being a little unfocused. And I don't have much to say about this one, so I'll actually ask you a question. Does the unfocusedness of this image add to it, or does it subtract from it? Would love to hear what you think. Anyways, here we see another part of the mall, one that actually looks completely different from the first 2 photos. we actually get to see some natural light filtering in, making it look less dull and enclosed. Once again, there are some closed stores in the background, and we see similar looking chairs from the second photo, confirming that it is in fact the same mall. So, shout out to everyone who was featured in this video. If you'd like to be a part of this series, all you need to do is submit a photo to the Liminal Spaces channel in my Discord, and hopefully one day I can feature it. If you enjoyed this little breakdown video, please let me know. It's been a while since I've done one of these, and I don't honestly know if there's even an audience for it anymore. I know it's a little on the shorter end. I'm surprised by that myself, to be honest. I wrote quite a lot, but sometimes that's just how the videos turn out. Anyways, I won't hold you any longer. I'll end it like we always do. So, as always, thank you for watching, and take care.